all stand, and I'm gonna read the prayer. Karen's gonna lead us pledge allegiance. Merciful Father in heaven, we're thankful for this beautiful sunny day that we have today. We're thankful for the freedoms that we have to elect our own leaders and to make the decisions for us. We pray that your guiding hand of wisdom will be on this Board of Commissioners. Help us to make decisions that are in the best interest of all of the citizens of Cannon County. We're mindful, Heavenly Father, of the loss of life of the brother of one of our former commissioners here today. And we pray that you would be with that family as they grieve over that. Continue to bless us. We're thankful for all the blessings that we have from your bountiful hand, and especially, Heavenly Father, we're thankful for your Son Jesus, who made it possible for us to be forgiven of our sins and to go to heaven in the end. This prayer I make in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we're ready for the roll call. Present. Here.
Christian Notes. Karen Hayes.
Here.
Jim Bush.
Here.
Greg Mitchell.
Here.
Ken Stickson.
Present.
Brett Bush.
Here.
Richie Hunter.
Here.
Alan Melton.
Here.
I'm present, one absent.
All right. Then we've had the minutes and had time to look over them in your packet.
Now I need to make a comment.
Are there any additions or corrections? That's what the first thing. You want to make a comment?
Well, I'll make a comment. I never get no packet. I never get nothing. I can't vote on nothing. So, what do you do?
Why didn't,
Don't ask me. You're the chairman.
Diane handed me mine at the budget committee meeting. When did you
I'm
get
sorry.
yours, Glenn?
I got that first committee meeting and the email.
I
Okay,
did.
both ways.
I got it before something.
Both ways. Weren't you here that night?
Yeah, but I didn't.
Are
get
you
it.
sure she didn't give you one?
No, I ain't got it.
No, you're not sure, or no, you didn't get it?
No, I didn't get it.
Okay. You get email.
I ain't got no emails from her.
Have you got it by email? Have you got, Commissioner Stickley, have you got my email? You live further back than Holler than anybody.
I just was like that,
Well,
Mr. Chairman.
I apologize, being chairman, it's not my duty to give it to you, but Diane gave the rest of us one some way, either by email or snail mail, or handed it to us some way. She hands some of them out so that she can save the stamp. But I will look into that and see why you didn't get yours.
Did anybody get theirs late? Yeah. Monday. You got yours Monday? Supposed to be 5 days before me.
Supposed to be mailed Thursday afternoon. Like I'm up here to ask to pick it up, and he's already gone.
It was gone on Thursday.
Thursday afternoon, about 2 o'clock. It's gone out of the office. Put it that way.
When's yours postmarked, Greg? They don't
Not
postmark
tomorrow.
anymore.
When did you get yours?
Not even canceled.
I'm thinking I've got some out Saturday.
Anyway.
I got mine
Well-
Monday, but I also had an email.
I had email.
When did you get, when did?
I got the packet Monday, I got it emailed to me, seemed like during the week, maybe sometime, so I can see it both ways.
Okay.
I'm saying I got it two different ways.
You sent it two
I
different
got
ways.
it Monday, so I got it.
Well, I don't know how yours got overlooked, Jim, but I'll look into it. And I'm sure you will too.
I'm not the chairman.
Well, I'll look into it then. All right, any other additions or corrections to the minutes? Anyone? If not, I got a motion to approve them. Got a second by Adam. I'll call roll, Bobby.
Mark Barker.
Yes.
Russell Reed.
Yes.
Karen Ashton,
Yes.
Jim Bush,
Abstain.
Greg Mitchell,
Yeah.
Ben Stickley,
Yes.
Brent Bush,
Yes.
Richie Hunter,
Yes.
Adam Miller.
Yes.
Did you vote, Jim? You didn't vote?
He
No.
passed.
Same.
Hey, it's okay.
Okay. Number 6 on our agenda is a public comment period. All right, I'll start over in the jury box over. Anybody want? If the citizen want to comment? I'll move over to that section over there. Any citizens over there want to comment today? I'll move to the center section here. Anybody want to make a comment? Yes, Curtis George, go ahead.
Mark, we were told by the tax assessor at the end of the budget meetings that our taxes would probably go up about 20%. I haven't talked to anybody that theirs has been 20% and under. Most of them have been over. Can you tell us why? Mine is about 24%.
Angela's still here, and the state people been here the last 2 days, answered questions, and you'll be the decision, come up here and answer that, 'cause that's been a lot of
Okay,
the same
if you,
questions.
Curtis, would you like for the tax assessor to come up here and answer that? She's more qualified.
Somebody needs to.
Because a lot of people have said they thought it would be 20%, and a lot of them are 30%.
Yeah.
So, let me just text her message for sure.
We're facing probably a tax increase anyway, and then if you go above that 20% that everybody was told that they would probably be that or under, you're talking about a bunch of money at the end of the year.
Well, the way it works, go get Angela on that, and I'll let her comment later.
Please.
Have all of the notices been, sent out? Does anybody know?
Probably not always, no.
I don't know what all of them.
I haven't talked to
I got
anybody.
mine.
I got mine. And it was a little over 20, but. The reappraisal is done by the tax assessor's office and the state of Tennessee using, comparable sales and stuff like that. But I'll let her explain more. Anybody else in the middle section here want to make a comment? Okay, I'll come around to this section here.
Well, you know what I do.
All right, go right ahead, make a comment.
2 things. One, I come to you at the last meeting and asked y'all if y'all were going to do anything about the solid waste hauling, contract that's coming due September 1. And so I'm asking that question every month until September 1, because I believe at this point, y'all should be directing somebody to put that stuff out for bid. It shouldn't just be dumped in the lap of the next commission, because what's gonna happen is on September 1, he's gonna come in here and say that he does not have a contract, and he's gonna want another 6 months extension. So, I mean, I'm asking y'all to start the process now, to at least let the next group come in and have something on the table in front of them, and not just ignore it, if that makes sense. And I don't care if Roger gets it, I hope somebody from Cannon County gets the hauling contract, because the more business.
If not another 6-month contract, then you got nobody home.
Correct. So what I'm saying is I'm asking you to get that ball rolling somehow. And along those lines right there too, you may or may not be able to answer this, but I was told, and I don't know if this is true or not, that the city is charging, for commercial pickup.
It's in their budget.
That they have actually a revenue line item that has got them somewhere around, if I'm not mistaken, $24,000 revenue last year for picking up commercial waste. So, for the city.
In the city business.
In the city limits, they're picking up city, that's what I've heard. Now, I can't verify if that's true or not, I was hoping maybe y'all could. So, if that's the case, then are they not collecting money and then turning around and we're paying for it to be hauled off?
No, that's right.
Is that right?
That's a good way of looking at it.
They
Okay.
commercialized it.
Okay,
It's a fee.
But that's a question for the city, not for us.
It is, I mean, I think it's something that, we've been hearing a lot about this $40,000 that, they're no longer gonna pay. Well, they're already making apparently $24,000 just by picking up the commercial waste here in the city. So it just struck me as odd, and I was wondering maybe any of y'all had any information on that. The last thing is the ADA, American Disabilities Act, all that stuff is coming due December of 2019. And there's a specific criteria that has to be met by September. And I was wondering if y'all knew anything about that. And that affects our fuel tax money. So if we are not compliant, the way I read that law is if we are not compliant by December of 2019, we will lose our fuel tax money from the state. And they've tied those two together. So I just wondered if there's anything that's in the works.
You think we're not compliant now?
I don't know. I just know that there's been several deadlines over the last 3 years or 2 years since they implemented that in 2016 that have come due, and I don't know if we've met those or not. I know another one is coming due September. I know that I'm pretty sure that there's not a compliant bathroom downstairs. So I know as far as this building, you couldn't use the bathroom if you're ADA, if you have a disability downstairs, you'd have to come up here.
Well, the signs there on that door, that's the.
That one is, but I mean.
That one,
I don't know. I'm just asking the
Okay,
question.
you're just asking questions.
Yeah, I don't know what the requirements are. I just know that that's coming due in September, that there is a requirement that has to be turned over to TDOT that says basically you're in the process of getting whatever it is you need fixed, if that makes sense.
Okay.
And that was my 2 things. Thank you.
Curtis George had a question about the reappraisal. If you don't mind, retell how the appraisal goes and what is involved in the reappraisal and what they do, but how they arrive at the certified tax rate.
Okay.
Yes, please.
I'm sure most everyone did get their reappraisal notice. It's state mandated every 5 years. It's reappraisal time. What happens during a reappraisal, the goal is to bring your property to, current market value. That's accomplished by studying, analyzing the sales that have occurred over the most recent a year to year and a half. We start looking, the state assists in doing that. At that time, all new base rates are developed for pricing houses, land tables, for all of that, and the goal is to bring your property to market value, which, in all honesty, you really should want, your value to be what it's worth, yes. When you do a reappraisal, the state issues is the certified tax rate. What that is, it's pretty much revenue neutral. You can't, by doing a reappraisal, we can't bring in more money just by reappraising your property. Now, with that being said, depending how much your property value changed, you may see a small decrease or increase based on that certified rate. I mean, ultimately, the county commission is the one that would have the option to raise that rate with a public hearing. You would have to publish it, have a public hearing, and y'all could exceed that certified rate. You're the only ones that can, to adopt a different rate. But other than that, the only new money would be new construction.
So we do get the growth.
You do get the growth.
The county gets the growth.
Yes.
So is it possible, let me give you this scenario, is it possible that somebody's property would be, say, unlike other properties in a category, and they might go up even with the certified rate because of the difference in this other type of property goes down and their type goes up slightly?
It is possible.
Okay.
One may go up some, one may go down a little, that's kind of.
I thought that was the way it was.
The goal of reappraisal is to you almost revalue to make everything more equal and fair according to what you have.
Several years ago.
Depreciation.
Yeah, several years ago, we had one year that the manufactured homes increased more that year than they were appraised, and the people, they thought that their appraisals went up too much, I think, some of them, but.
It can happen because you analyze those sales, so all new rates are developed, on building rates, land rates, barns, mobile homes, all of that.
Okay.
You have questions? We'll be glad to look
Does
at it.
anybody else have a question for Angela that's in the audience?
Behind you.
What is the certified rate?
We do not know yet. I have asked that question and they are leery of telling you that yet because it's very uncertain, because it will change some, because we're now going through informal hearings. Because there could be things that needs to be relooked at or changed, so we're doing that now, and then we'll have our equalization board that meets starting the first week of June.
Okay, I talked to your state man the other day
Okay.
when I got my notice.
Yeah.
And, I asked him, I said, when the appropriations go up, doesn't the rate go down to bring in the same amount of money? And then the commission, if they need more money after it goes down, then they can raise it, but you can't
Yes.
raise it twice, can you?
Now, that certified rate should come down significantly.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
what I thought, so that might
alright,
answer that
will.
gentleman's question.
If you average 20%, growth across it dropped by approximately 60 cents, roughly 289. So you're looking at probably 2.25 drop in tax rate from.
They will
289
figure
back
that.
to 4. When will we, so
The
we wait
average
for
is
them?
22%, now some have been more, some have been less, when you take a county-wide, that's average. Some's gonna be more, some's gonna be less.
So, but when will we know that? So we vote on that tax rate, or they tell us what the tax rate is, and they do the math?
They do the math, it will tell us the certified rate, then y'all do have to adopt.
Then we have to adopt it. Okay.
If I'm hearing this right, it sounds like most of the property went up in excess of 20%. If I'm hearing this right.
On average, the state, they do I have a whole booklet of like all the sales that were used, all that. He said the average was 22. Now, I've seen some that's went down, I've seen some that's went up more.
The
So,
question I want to ask, though, was what was the phenomenon that happened in the county that made this rate go up that high a percentage? We get a lot of new industry here in building cars.
it's not
What
that.
happened there?
It's the sales, the real estate market. If you'll watch it, if you've seen it, it's crazy what some things are bringing.
If you look at the real estate transfers that are
Yes.
printed in the courier that she has, from the Register of Deeds office, you can see what the sales are, and that's what they base it on.
Yes, that's what we have to do. That's by state law. I mean,
So everybody's getting probably 22% more now than they were last year or year before.
5 years ago.
5 years ago.
I thought we
Yes.
just said based on last year or the year before, the last 2 years, and I said just.
Now, that's the revenue. That's the tax rate. Reappraisal, last reappraisal was 2013.
But correct me if I'm wrong, what you bring in right now, a penny is worth $20,000, right?
Correct.
So what would a penny be worth after this tax?
When we estimated it, mere estimation, it was around 24.
So which means theoretically, you should reduce taxes.
You should reduce.
It should reduce
Tax
anyway.
rate.
Yeah. The tax rate will come
The
down.
certified rate will go down.
I said theoretically, you should reduce taxes. If the penny brings in
It's your
24,000,
assessment.
Yeah.
Out of pocket, taxpayer can see it.
right.
Not all, some, I mean.
Well, yeah, true, if values went up.
Or instead of having a tax increase, it should be roughly the same amount. If you need extra money, you shouldn't have to increase.
Well, overall.
Overall,
In
yeah.
macro,
Yeah. Okay.
And if you have an average of 22, some of them are gonna be higher, and some of them are gonna be less.
Say that. I mean, I'll be honest, I've had lots of calls, some are high. I've had several people tell me they still would not take what we have to price for. So, I mean,
That's right.
we're not high on everybody. I mean, it's not, it looks like a very good sales package when you look at the numbers. We're sitting at 100%. I mean, we're, of what it'll bring. And I've had probably more tell me they would not take still what we have it for.
Any other questions for Angela? Okay. Thank you so much for coming up here, and thank you for your work. I know this has been a busy time for you during this reappraisal time. Okay. Anybody else over here got a question or comment? Either one of y'all? Okay, moving on. Let's approve the notary. Bobby?
Got three: Judy Denning, John Roberts, Lindsey Sprout.
Okay. Got a motion?
Evan,
Seconded by Greg.
Greg,
All in favor, let me know by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Okay. Which departments are on this quarter? Ready to make a report?
IDB is.
IDB and
Norman.
Norman. Trustee.
Hey, Mark, very part of this.
Okay.
We got an email.
Okay. We'll start with trustee. Well, that's the department report, so that's what this is number 12. We're gonna do-
Ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. Make sure. Okay. Our office is Department 52-400, the trustee office. Today's date is 5/3/18. Our financial budget status year-to-date is 84.62%. And my office is at 82.06%. And if you look at the page I've got attached, it'll show that. It'll show what we've spent for the year, where we're at. I have 0 lines over budget, 0 notifications of upcoming capital needs, 0 grants, 0 legal matters, 0 special projects, and 0 personnel changes. In additional information I put below, April 3rd, 2018, the trustee's office turned over our delinquent taxes to Dana Denfort's office, Chancery Court, in the amount of $52,053. We are at 94.78% of collections for 2017 taxes. That's leaving $313,094.50 to be collected for this next year. That's what's left not paid. In the tax relief department, we had the following. Disabled veterans, we had 33 that applied for and successfully got tax relief. That was $36,069. That's $1,098 each that the state gives the disabled veterans each. The elderly and disabled, we had 250 that we collected on, which get $169 each, for a total of $42,250. We had 19 new applicants that have been paid so far, for a total of $6,615. There are still 12 pending, and that leaves $2,028. So we have 314 applicants on tax relief, and we've collected $86,962 paid by the state, Pecan County, except for the 12 pending of the $2,028. As of May 4th, 2017, this time last year, County General had $605,189.20. At today's end, May 3rd, 2018, County General has $1,144,415.91, showing a difference of $539,226.71 more today than we had this time last year.
Good.
Yes. If you look at the balance sheet, it is the trial balance at day end today, for May 3rd. And, at the top, you will see our total assets and at the bottom, our total liabilities. So if you look at the bottom under liabilities, 101, that is county general, and you'll see our total right there. And everything under that shows the solid waste, ambulance, the drug fund, and all the other funds. And the top is all of our total assets, where all our money is in the bank.
Any questions for the trustee?
Are you still getting taxes paid?
Yes, we, like I said, we've turned the others, the 16s over to Chancery Court, with the 17s every day, we slowly have people coming in. And we billed in March, so several people with May penalties on
you'll give me several of those in the mail.
What is the point?
It starts at, March first, it starts at 1.5%, it goes up 1.5% each month. So the first month it's 1.5%, and the next month 3%. So by March, you're paying like 19% interest if you've not paid your taxes. So, yes. Any more questions? Yes.
This is nice. I understand that you, we will ask you if you attended a graduation.
Yes, sir, I did.
Plus, and, I understand it's capstone
Yes, sir.
graduation.
Mhm.
Would you mind telling the commission why you were there and what capstone is?
Capstone is a program through the University of Tennessee through CTAS, and it's for county officials or county commissioners, and you complete 4 core classes and 40 electives. You have to pass a test in all of those. So I completed all 4 core classes and all 40 electives, and then you go and take a test in Murfreesboro, and I took that test and passed that. And you go to a 3-day capstone event where they divide you up in groups and you work on stuff about local governments. And at the completion of that, you get your certificate. So you get a certificate called a COCTP, which is a Certified Public Administrators. So that's what I did. So I completed that. Thank you.
And Miss Sandy Hollingsworth graduated the same time you did, is that
She
right?
did, yes, she did.
So Camden County has 2 certified public administrators
Yes.
for the first time ever.
Yes, that's what CTAS told us, that we were
I
supposed to do.
congratulate you and Mrs. Hollingsworth for sticking to that. I'm sure you want to apply it.
Yes, and those classes that you take, they are not just trustee classes, they are all kinds of classes that deal with county government. So it gives you a, a good view of everything, not just what your office does, but you the assessor's office, county general's office, the highway department, the drug fund, all different aspects of county government. Yes. Thank you. Any more questions?
I think she also paid for the same program.
I did. The test was $300 and I paid $1.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Norm. All right, next we'll do the IDB.
We just recently had a ribbon cutting opening ceremony for the Composite Solutions over here last Saturday, 10 a.m. That was with Justin Davis and his family. We had Donna Barrett that was a part of that because she was integral in getting those guys and us together and working through all the contracts that we had to go through and different things like that. They are currently in full production mode right now. They started a couple weeks ago. I know that they, if I'm not mistaken, they were putting applications in for at least 10 new jobs last Saturday, and they've got an excellent program that I commend them on very much, is working with the Sheriff's Department to hire people that have had jail time, nonviolent offenders, that type of thing, DUIs and things like that. They will welcome them to come over and apply for a job, and if they can get them in that program, they will do that, which I think is outstanding on their part, because sometimes it's hard for those people to always find a job later on, after serving time for whatever. Very good company, locally owned prior to them moving into this building. They were down on the old Murfreesboro Highway down there for several years. This allowed them to expand and grow. They're going to make their own boat, which is going to be like a sea boat of some kind of small, like you would take out for, deep sea fishing, that kind of thing. And it's their own boat. They bought the molds and they got, the rights to that particular body style and everything. And we took a tour of that a few months ago of one of their boats that they had completed that was a prototype. And they're just a very good company. We're very proud to have them here. I think they, they're definitely on the right track of doing what's good for Cannon County. So that was our big thing this week. Again, we're still working on trying to get different people. We've had some calls around people that are inside Cannon County that are wanting to expand and grow, trying to find them buildings, trying to find them land. Some people want to build, some people want to get in existing buildings. We still have a company that we're working with in a different county, trying to get them to move their operations here by allowing them to build a building to suit their needs and that type of thing. So we got a lot on our plate, and we're working hard trying to, you know, bring jobs to Cannon County, because that's what we do. So
Do you have existing buildings right now?
we don't own any existing buildings. There are a few around town that are, you know, somewhat empty. You gotta snatch them quick because they get gone. I had a guy call me, I don't know, it's been about a month or so ago, wanting to move, put servers, like computer servers. He wanted to have a building big enough to house servers in. And my first thought was, E&E Wholesale, been a perfect place. But I called Danny and it was already rented. So, I mean, you gotta be quick, you know, to get some of that stuff. So there's a few buildings around, but they're scarce. And sometimes though, you may have an empty building, but it don't fit the client's needs, unfortunately. You know, it'll be too small, won't have enough, you know, space for them or whatever. So a few things like that. Financially, we're in good shape too.
Mr. Davenport, a little over 6 months ago, you announced that the IDB had changed the strategy process on attracting companies coming in. Have you seen any results from that new strategy?
Yes, I think the company that we're working with, trying to, and we've been working with them for quite a while, and they are actually in a, I can't remember the name for it. They're doing an assessment on the piece of property that we're looking at to determine how much it's going to cost them for electricity, for water, for sewage, for all those different things. So that particular piece of property is under contract for that particular reason. So I've seen changing the way we do things help drive that part of the business in. I've also seen it where the word's getting out that we're trying to help businesses within the community. For example, the Davises, the Composite Solutions, and even others that are in here that are trying to stay in Cannon County if they have the right business and the right place to go to and that type of thing. So yeah, I think it's working. I believe it is. I mean, we've shown some positive results from it. And financially, we're in great shape. We don't owe anything. We paid off all our debts, so we don't have any debts. All we have is what we have coming in with Composite Solutions. They pay their rent on time. It's great to have a company that pays their rent on time, which is something we weren't used to for a while. So,
thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Also on the schedule for this quarter is the ambulance service. Got a new director.
Obviously, as you know, go ahead and start. Obviously, we know the reason retired, and I inherited this. When I inherited this, the budget was over at 4 items there, helping read right. One was legal services. It was something to do that we had to check in on something to do with Mr. Corley, from what I understand. And I don't think there was a line item for that. So that is something that we'll be able to, like $500, we'll be able to shift that money over from another line item. Number 2 was TennCare, and what it is that TennCare, we are having to pay every quarter a certain amount to be in, I guess, the membership, whatever, with TennCare. And from what I understand, TennCare, we have the exact amount is, or we have collected thus far, was
$11,227, yeah. There you go, we have collected that. So the 10-care item that we are over, which is showing on the budget, which I apologize, this was all last minute because both ambulances went out on calls. And it's last minute, I was on standby for first group. But the one item that I am over on, or excuse me, we are over on with 10-care is about $7,451.02. Now, but like I said, we've already collected $11,227. And actually, they owe us, excuse me, $2,500 more dollars. What I understand is supposed to be coming in. So actually, that money is there. We have collected it. It's just not showing in the budget. So that's where that's coming from. Employee insurance claims, we are over. Obviously, we just hope that's something that we've unforeseen, and we just hope, don't get sick, nobody will claims on that. And the maintenance agreements, if you'll combine line items 334 and 336, apparently, from what I understand, Ricky had asked to do that. There was two different maintenance agreements on heart monitors and I believe stretchers. Line items on our budget 334 and 336. One of them says maintenance and then one of them says maintenance for equipment and vehicles. So Ricky wanted to combine those two items, but apparently they didn't get combined. But in one item, we have more than enough money to cover the loss on the other. But that's where that goes. Anyway.
Actually, you got three maintenance line items.
Oh, well, the vehicles, yeah. That vehicles is, or excuse me, the vehicles is not included in maintenance on one for equipment. The one is just says maintenance on the maintenance agreement. Because that's what one of the companies called Physio Control, which like I said, is for heart monitors and other pieces of equipment. The grants, we just, I'm waiting to hear back. We applied for a Narcan grant. Here with that, again, I'll talk about the opioid epidemic and all that. We applied, from what I understand, we're supposed to be receiving, I think, up to 40 vials of Narcan. So I believe that's right. I believe it's 40. Normally they'll run about 2 years, that's our.
But you got, we use grants.
Yes, grant, no, this is just, I think they went county by county, actually, the service, Harold, did you guys have anything to do with the Narcan thing? That's what,
Association, sitting on part of it.
yeah. I know that the city police department, it's starting to be, like I said, they're starting to spread it around all of them.
Like the antidote.
Yeah, any kind of like, yeah, any kind of, yes. And the AFG grant, we're still waiting on, excuse me, that was for one of our power costs that we applied for, and that's also for what we call the lifters that we put in the back of the trucks to lift patients for us. Obviously, keeps them hurting our backs. Just waiting to hear back, hopefully soon. I know, I apologize, that's not the best answer you're looking for.
Is that the $141,000?
I believe so, again, like I said, I hear that, because it's one of those that what I would like to do, and this is something we'll discuss at a later time, I'd like to turn around and apply for another grant, as soon as we get this one awarded for new heart monitors. Heart monitors are going on about 7 years old, it's obviously technology. We are compliant right now, but I know it's one of those that transmitting 12 leads, or EKGs is what we refer to them, for our cardiac patients, especially like Murfreesboro, which we do send y'all to a lot of our cardiac patients. Just better equipment to do that. And obviously that's stuff that, what it is basically getting to the ER, getting to the cath lab, because they're really trying to reduce the time. So, that's what I'm doing.
Does that give them information while y'all are en route?
Basically, what it would do is yes, we would be able to transmit it to them, the ER physician would be able to look at it and say yes. And they call that code stimming, and that's just a medical term, but basically what it means is yes, we got a true one coming in. That's when they can notify the cath lab, get them ready, and just kind of ease them on through the ER a lot faster, get them to the cath lab, because honestly, that's what they need, because obviously there's a blockage. So.
Congratulations on your new appointment, and we appreciate your work. Anything else you'd like to tell the committee?
Any questions for you guys?
Unless you have one going on full time, how long is that, person you want to start?
He took my place, which obviously I took Ricky's, so a little bit more. So, yeah, just right, like I said, when I got, he
You probably don't have this information with you, but I would like, you could find out how many employees the family service has replaced this year. Sure. Probably have that within this fine.
If you're talking about twenty eighteen, my knowledge, the only one we replaced is Justin Harris left as a center.
July.
Oh, yeah, this year, yeah. Ballpark, I think it's around 3. Sure, I'll get that.
Now, you mentioned that, there are 2 ambulances already out, and you were gonna stand by a third shift,
Third crew.
a third crew. Explain that a little bit, so everybody knows what you're talking about.
We staffed 2 full-time trucks, 24-hour trucks. 2 calls came in pretty much back to back. I'll say this rep I was sitting there in the office, I'll say within 2-3 minutes of each other. One was, well, both of them are kind of on that end of the county, out in the Woodland community. So anytime that happens, and of course I'm there, I'll automatically go to the third crew, staff the third crew. And what that simply means is that when we need a third crew, which Ms. Karen obviously you know, we usually would pay, try to, call you guys to dispatch out for a third crew to be on standby. And of course, numerous times they've had to get called in to make ambulance calls. A lot of our, I would say, a lot of the things that we run into, like I was talking about earlier with the EKG transmissions, we transport a lot of patients out of county, which I know you guys have probably heard all this. But a lot of times they will request to go to Murfreesboro, and depending on what the ailment is whether or not we feel it's necessary to go into a qualified facility. So anyway, so that, like I said, that's when the third crew comes into play. We're on standby.
Cause if you get another emergency call and you have nobody there, who's gonna take the patient?
Right, that's exactly right.
How often, or do you log where you take a look and find out how often that occurs over the course of the week?
Give it a shot. Just like today, I wouldn't have logged it because I was there, so automatically I just, it seems like it comes and goes in spurts. Darren, like I said, you could sure tell it's on that one. There's times it seems like we page out for third crew quite often, then you get a little quiet a little bit. And I know you're looking for exact numbers. As y'all are well aware.
There's justification.
Yes, and what we were gonna talk about, probably this upcoming Tuesday night, was that, the dialysis run that we're doing 3 times a week. So, and that's something, like I said, Tuesday night, that we seem to, and it's continued, it's worked out good so far. We take it 3 times a week, and it's, like I said, we can go over some numbers, Tuesday night, whatever, we'll take a look at that.
You use the BLS for that?
Not necessarily. Right now, we do it on whoever signs up, because it's really just kind of instead of having to force people, So it's one of those that I think Ricky had said that it looks like we're eating our overtime a lot faster, which in essence, we are. But the revenue from that is several $1,000s higher. Yeah, there you go. So-
Did you have to use a regular, not be the right term, just for that run, would you use just a fully equipped ambulance, or could you get by with something?
Well, you have to have a state minimum.
Yeah.
You have 2 types of trucks, a BLS, which is basic life support, and an ALS, which is advanced life support.
Right.
3 of our trucks, which are what I call the main line trucks, which we go take, obviously for mileage purposes, are what we call ALS trucks, advanced life support. 1 truck is a BLS truck. That's the one that, obviously, you guys know what we're talking about. That's the 2008. Yeah, that's what it is.
So.
But you can take that, you can use that.
I was gonna say, would that not be more feasible if it was like,
We do try to use that a lot, it's just it needs antifreeze.
Oh.
So, that's the one, so you have the issue.
Oh, I see.
How many bodies constitute a crew?
2. Although in severe cases, which we have had to do this, Darrell's up and down, matter of fact, Darrell and I talked about this when I first took over. In severe cases, if you can't find one, like I would go out on a call and just try to get like a deputy or somebody or first responder for the rescue squad to drive me in, which has happened. And you just do the best you can sometimes.
And you're having an open house, or?
No, I'm just like,
Okay.
yeah.
one of the budget committee members has a question, if you don't mind.
I don't think that the commissioners are asking this before, so I don't mind side you, but I just asked the question and then maybe you can provide. From the revenue side, collections, are they equal to last year, are they running ahead, are they running behind?
Since we started the analysis, like I said, that's about all I can say about that. Since we started, now, the numbers that I have come up with, and these are ballpark, I cannot say this is penny for penny. The way I figured it, was two supervisors doing this run. And what I mean by that is the two supervisors on paramedics, because we have 3 supervisor paramedics over here, they obviously have to be paid overtime. So that's worst case scenario. What I understand is one run, if we look at the numbers, and I'm talking about 2 supervisors, which is never happened to take this run, worst case scenario, we're still bringing in roughly $7,000 extra a month.
Okay.
And that's excluding the overtime. That's still, that's roughly like I said, the 2 rate.
Okay, and I apologize for my lack of understanding ignorance, but from your total collections, total revenue, and because I've heard comments made before from a Medicare standpoint that you really sort of take the shaft on losing money of people not paying their share, not able to pay their share, who would say. And I just remember this past fiscal year, there was a substantial large charge-off of an amount of money because it was not collected. So from that perspective, of total revenues in comparison to prior years, is it better than, equal to, or you're still, I guess we would say, running up a tab that's not showing reflected against the budget of revenues expected versus actual revenues received?
Well, obviously, I wasn't in here on it.
I understand, that's why I'm calling out,
So, you know,
not the box sign.
Can I say that's not Medicare, it's Medicaid, right?
Well, now Medicare is what we're dealing with. I understand your question, correct. And you're talking about Medicaid, and believe me, I am just now learning about the whole insurance process. But the Medicare, go ahead.
Well, and that's one thing that I could go back and pull for you from last year to this year, everything, because all the money that comes in comes to our office from Blue Cross Blue Shield and all that, and I receive it in and give it to Dick. So that's the information I can get for you, okay?
I think, and you guys got the statement, I sent you guys out the statement, what, 2 weeks ago, something like that? If I'm not mistaken, and you guys can back me up on these numbers, and I'm gonna ballpark this again, like I said, but I think we were averaging somewhere around $30-something thousand a month, up until around, December, and then that increased to around 50,000.
Probably so, because when I receive in for the ambulance service, maybe I'll go 2 days before I do it, it'll be $7,000 to $8,000 a receipt that I'll leave for that. And then that's several times a month, I'll leave a receipt. Sometimes it's $10,000 at a time. If it's our banking account, it might be 15 different parties that are paying Blue Cross Blue Shield, the state of Tennessee, Humana, all of those things pay to us, and then I give it to Deb.
Did that answer your question?
Yes, in
I
the
think
sense,
since
we need
December.
information that's probably.
Yeah, I think since December, the lowest, if I'm not mistaken, for that sheet, since December, the April numbers have not been out yet. Since December, this December, January, February, March, I think the lowest we've had collected is 47,000, I believe, 47,000 something.
Just from a budget standpoint, we're trying to get close to the end of the fiscal year, and just trying to see how close our budget for this current year on target, or less than, equal to, or shortfall, or where we're coming out with revenue.
Actually, the lowest month they paid was July, 30,317.
Yeah, it's prior to the dialysis. They're gonna have to update your cash flow sheet to see that what's going on.
And their best month was December of 54,807.
And that's obviously when the payment started.
Okay, anything else for Dick?
Thank you, Travis.
Thank you very much. Michael, the fire board, y'all ready?
Budget status, we've used 72.81 of our budget. Line items over budget, none, plans, that's none. No capital needs right now. Grants applied for, Tim did work on a grant that he found with the National Volunteer Fire Committee, and actually, it's a private foundation grant. He got us a $5,000 grant, and this is to be used for training. We done got that in the bank, and spending some of that money right now. First thing we've done with that is buying a sea container, 40 foot long, and we're gonna make a maze in it to train our firefighters. To go in there and look for victims inside of the house and be like a maze, like. That's our plans for that. That sea container was $2,875. That's been all paid for, and supposed to be delivered within 5 to 10 days. That's gonna be at Westside. Mainly because, well, since we got our reach building back, we're doing a lot of classroom, but we're doing a lot of field exercises at Westside. In different locations, but we're gonna put that further down there, to be kind of, DTC has put a new substation or something down there, we're gonna park it there 40 foot long and do in-house training down there too. As far as training goes, we've actually got done with we've got one more class, a 16-hour class, which is mandated by the state that every firefighter has to have. Get some guys that had to have that. We have had a 64-hour class, and we wrote a check to the academy for free for the 64-hour class that's supposed to go to Liburn next month. Just completed that, so we got them guys gonna be certified with a 64-hour class for the Liburn. They are on order, everybody's got size, and we're just waiting on them to come in.
So that's not been paid out at 70?
Yeah.
It has already been paid?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's your 33,000 that you used.
33. Actually, $28,650. But that's 14 cents. Okay.
And that could have a department trying to do treatment? Just one department?
Yeah.
You said no capital needs to do anything on 5%.
I was still need one break, everybody else is got fully updated equipment, new equipment, but they will pass pump test if we test it. I feel like, and, we know the one at Braille will not pass pump test, if it's a safety model, you won't get it to pass pump test. It wasn't started, but we had to buy a new battery for it, it did start, so we got it started again, it's starting right now.
And all the tires and they put on everything and paid for?
we got hit hard this year on tires. I mean, we bought, I think, 12 tires this year, and them tires ain't cheap. We did get a, government bid on them tires prices through, Murfreesboro with a, government contract deal, so you couldn't beat no bid on that. It's government deal, you know. So we I think about 12 tires we bought. Cars at the time, we got hit pretty good. But that line item there, that $12,000 line item, we pretty much out of that, you know, as far as our maintenance budget on that. And like, we like the ambulance service, we got 336, 338, you know, there's about $8,000 that we still got trucks that's gotta go in the shop to be looked at and oil changes, so.
On your drive, are you buying new tires or recap?
No recaps.
I just asked the question.
New tires. Recaps was on the truck that we got from Murfreesboro, and it's done, go back to $20,000, $18,000 worth of damage. We spent in the repair bill, insurance paid for it. Repair bill about what we call paid for the truck. I'm serious. And the tires look like brand new, it's just the recaps. No recaps.
At this time, how many, VFD members do you have?
So members, let's count, I had, okay, we right at around 80 to 100 in all the departments. Yeah.
Volunteer.
Yeah.
How many bodies you got in road?
There's 6 or 8 there, so.
Any other questions for Michael? Thank you very much. Oh, go ahead.
You need CPS,
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, is there anything else on schedule, on the May schedule for quarterly reports? If not, we'll move on. The ambulance committee, I will get the ambulance services, the committee hasn't met.
There's no budget for the committee. This is more than budget, it's information for the commissioners.
They haven't met.
We have a reason.
And Dick, if you need, between these quarterly reports, if you need to have a ambulance committee meeting, you let me know. And I will, get the message to the ambulance committee people and,
Yeah, hopefully we're gonna have this something informal.
yeah, that's right. If you need one, it's there and ready to go if you need it. All right, moving on, James Atkins had an emergency that he had to tend to, and he's not gonna be here at number 9, so let's move on to number 10. We've got the litter grant, resolution 2018-8, and it authorizes the application for the collection grant from TDOT. For collection on fiscal year 2018-2019. You gonna have a motion?
Any information on how much it is?
Is that the one Darrell uses?
Is this one?
State tender contract, what we pick up on the main highway?
Is that 28?
I'd like to see one myself.
You haven't seen the contract?
No.
I don't know if this is that one or not. There's 2 different ones.
I'd say this is the one here that operates through the county executive's office. They both operate through the county. Yes, but I mean, those out in the white truck on its own. I don't know who.
I think this is the white truck that, but we wanna apply for any grants that we can get, I think. I got a motion. What you want?
The deadline is in the amount.
Is it a matching grant?
No.
Is it 100%? Well, you said you didn't know what the grant was.
If it's the same one. that we
If.
got.
I thought both of them were 100% grants.
Well, yeah, but do we know what are we talking about? He don't know what we're talking about.
what it says, the county executive is authorized to apply for the grant.
If that's it, that's the one that does the county road.
That's what I thought too.
Our office collects that money also.
Yes.
Is this the grant we're talking about?
The one
here?
that I do is, the county executive has to sign off on it, but I've got some
But you're the one
questions
that
about
applies
it.
for it.
I
That's
think
right.
it's good.
Norma, do you know about how much this grant usually is?
I don't have to do that, I agree to do it, but the money's got took away from me, and I'm not thrilled with it.
Do what, Darryl? What money?
The state litter grant that I do,
Right.
only thing I get paid is expenses. That's a $28,000 grant.
Well, there's two in the budget here. Sanitation management, sheriff litter program,
That's the one I've got.
estimated budget $18,265. And then there's sanitation management,
Where's the
litter
other
program.
$10,000 going?
I'm sorry.
Where's the other $10,000 going?
I just read your number on the bottom line there.
The litter, what'd you say?
And,
Grant, you're saying
and well, there's two. There's no sanitation management litter program, no mention of sheriff. $44,200 is what it's estimated to be this year. Actual in 15-16 was 33,669.
Ms. Hill,
Yes.
Darryl made that comment about that money we're getting from the state. You know, about some of it missing.
That's not run through our office.
Right.
Only thing I do is, the expense, the overtime.
Mhm.
I have to turn report to TDOT.
Right.
Overtime, the fuel, everything, all receipts go to the thing and there.
Right.
Yeah,
But between the monies that you're supposed to get and what you're showing, you say you're 10,000 off?
They got a budget for 18,000, but they've had from the start. I'd like to know where those 10,000 is.
That's what
I mean, I could use that money.
you need to ask that question.
Instead,
Where's the money?
It goes to Norma's office.
I would have to take a look, but I know we collect all the money for the litter grants, both. And, I would have to take a look and see which one goes to which, and I'll be glad to do
I
that.
think the commission decided to put that money in the general fund, if I'm not wrong.
No.
No.
I'm supposed to go to you.
It's supposed to go to you.
That's 28,000, it's supposed to go to you.
That's what it was set up, designed for, according to TDOT, but I'm not seeing it.
Would that not be earmarked?
I'm not sure about that.
You
If you
money
take
for
the
anything.
place of the contract,
Right.
contract
That's what it was
labor.
set up for.
Yeah, and you said you would do that, if you would like to do that, you had to, and you did a great job, I mean, that is a good job.
Yes, you do a good job, and I'm glad you, it's 3 times a year, right?
Yeah, and if they wanna do it extra, they will pay us $10,000 on that. I think we get $9,900 and some dollars at a time, is that right?
Yes. Sure do, and I'd have to go back and look at each revenue number to make
But
sure.
that's, I don't think that's the one we're talking about
No,
here.
this would be the
This
litter
is
grant we're talking
authorizing
about
the
for
county executive to
44,000.
apply for next year's
Litter program.
the 18-19 litter program that we've been, applying for how many years?
Is that it, Norm?
To be for sure, I can't be for sure, I'd have to look at it, you know.
Well, the way it's worded according to what Russell read, that would be
If he
good.
has to apply for it, that is the.
That's right.
The trucks, right,
Yeah.
And I make a motion, we
I
let
mean,
them apply
we
for
don't
that.
apply for
Okay.
state grants, they just, as long as we review the contract.
So did it pass through Russell on the budget, is it $44,000 grant?
It doesn't show, it shows to go out.
I think we're just trying to see if it costs more than $44,000 to run the program.
It starts with an accountant, bookkeeper fee, labor, social security, state retirement, Medicare, maintenance, vehicles, gasoline, instructional supplies and materials. Estimated $18, 44, 200.
Okay.
It doesn't show in this, in income, unless it's over, it's the outgo.
Yeah, and the revenue will be on other pages. I've got a motion and a second. Greg did. So, to pass this resolution 2018-8. Call roll. Yes.
Yes.
Karen Hayes.
Yes.
Jim Bush.
Yes.
Greg Newsom.
Yes.
Ben Stickley.
Yes.
Brent Bush.
Yes.
Richie Hunter.
Yes.
Adam Miller.
Yes.
9-4-1-8.
Next time when we got something like this, it don't need to be this vague. You know, we need to have on there what it's for, how it's used, instead of just throwing it out there since we ain't got nobody. to
Well, it
do it.
don't look that vague to me, but if you want more information, you can go to the,
If nothing else, put the line item on it.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah, the line item,
whatever.
it may be, the line item will be on there, I don't, no. Okay, number 11, budget amendments, you got 3. Under county general, you got the election office, county buildings, and the extension office. And she's got her explanations there. Pardon? Yes, I do, yeah, I do. She says sheriff, county general, and drug. I'm just doing these ones on the sheriff, county general first. Okay. You wanna do all 3 of these together, the election, the county buildings, and the extension office, since they're all under county general, or do you wanna do them separately?
Let's do them separately.
Okay. First one is the election office. You want me to read the whole, explanation, or have y'all already? At the October County Commission meeting, it was approved to give the election committee an election officer of $40,000 to hold a special election. Minutes are attached. Mr. Tepley asked me a few months after, and I contacted the county audit to ask if I could use the minutes as documentation to enter the amendment into the computer. She stated it would be okay, but it's coming back from fund balance, and it would be a good idea to bring it back before the commission again. In March, we received a reimbursement from the state for $25,648, so the remainder, $14,000, $352 will come from the fund balance. Everybody understand? I'll entertain a motion on election.
Are they wanting $40,000, or they want
No.
the remainder of the fund balance?
We've already got the state reimbursement for 25, and we're gonna put in 14. A special, the special election. Everybody understand it?
Yes, sir.
Matt's here. Did I explain it correctly?
Yeah, what wound up happening is, after the special elections, I went back on over my budget, and I had blown through poll workers, and, the 40,000 that you had approved previously didn't make it into my budget, so I called Ms. Diana and said, this has been nuked, you know, what happened to the $40,000 they had approved? She goes, well, there was some confusion there, she decided to use the minutes to put that in there.
Because we had voted for it.
You did vote for
That's
it.
right.
Obviously, we're not gonna spend anywhere close to that, we didn't spend anywhere close to that money in those elections, we spent $25,000. On those special elections, we came well under budget, that money will sit there until the next budget year.
That's right. Is that good enough explanation now? I'll entertain a motion to amend the election office budget. Ben made, Adam seconded, call roll.
Mark Barton.
Yes.
Wilson Reed.
Yes.
Karen Hayes.
Yes.
Jim Bush.
Yes.
Glenn Mitchell.
Yes.
Ben Stickley.
Yes.
Brent Bush.
Yes.
Richie Hunter.
Yes.
Adam Miller.
Yes.
All for one.
Okay. County buildings, they're, moving money from maintenance, between maintenance personnel and maintenance and repair on buildings, amending the county building budget, $5,000 move. Any questions?
Do we have a new maintenance guy now?
Thanks, part-time guy.
Who is it? The other one's retired.
Who?
Darryl Bowen.
I don't know.
Who?
It's Ivan,
Okay.
Ivan Fisher.
Ivan Fisher, what Norma says. Right?
Is that the same one that repaired the bleachers?
Is that the one that repaired the bleachers over there at the,
I didn't know.
ball field, I mean, the old arena?
I'm not sure about that.
It got done, yeah. Glenn's glad it got done. All right, do I have a motion to? All right, Glenn seconded it, Karen made it. Call the roll.
Mark Barker,
Yes?
Russell Dean,
Yes.
Karen Ashton,
Yes.
Jim Bush,
Yes.
Craig Mitchell,
Yeah.
Lynn Stickley,
Yes.
Brent Bush,
Yes.
Richie Hunter,
Yes.
Alan Miller.
Yes.
All right.
Hey, just a minute, before we get off of that, Mark, what are the plans for this maintenance person? Are we gonna have a full-time maintenance person, or just part-time? Or what?
Going forward.
Going forward?
Going forward, I guess that will be, a decision that's made by the, after the election.
Okay. Well, I would like to have somebody that we could work with the sheriff's department with, and I'd like this person,
As long as they don't have a felony.
well, I'd like to have this person be certified, so he could work with people around the city and all of our county buildings.
I think that'd be a real good idea too.
I mean, sorry.
No, I think it's great.
But I mean, Daryl's got all of this, all these people over there that's wanting work.
All free labor.
That's right, all this free labor, and here, we're not using this free labor that we've got.
I agree.
We need somebody to supervise.
Should've done it a long time ago.
That's a good idea.
Well, I mean, it wasn't Daryl's fault before.
Well, I know
could you?
that, okay, we won't get into politics. But,
We need to get it done.
but that needs to be looked at next year.
Not politics.
Well, anyway, whatever. We need to have somebody at this position that is the maintenance personnel that will take the 40 hours, is that right, Darryl? Is it 40 hours that?
I don't know what they.
Well, no, I know, but that's what you kept saying, 40 hours, so he could be a supervisor and supervise,
As long, it's a 40-hour certificate to get certified. They have to recertify every year.
Okay, well, I suggest that this person, whoever it is, be certified so he can take our free labor and put it to use.
You suggest that would be one of the requirements to hold this
That
position.
would be one of the requirements to hold this position.
I think that'd be a-
We're not put that in our.
Excellent.
Procedures, should we not put that in
Procedures
there,
in
so?
our new book,
Yeah.
whatever. Sounds good to me.
That way it won't fall through the cracks.
Put it in the job description.
If it's written, then, yeah.
If it's in the job description, then that's what.
Can I make something clear?
Sure.
Next sheriff may not, that's a sheriff's call only, he does not have to let inmates off that property. I think y'all have to pay back to society, but you ain't gonna get nothing out of it. Laying up there, and if you can work them, work them.
That's right.
That's right.
As far as the state is concerned, they have to be certified. I won't take responsibility without it.
Okay, well, that's the reason I was wanting to put that in there, on that maintenance personnel,
Yes, I think that's a great thought.
because
too.
that way we can have a lot of help.
A lot of it.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
These guys are talented, aren't they?
Well, yeah. Next one is the extension office budget amendment. You've got the explanation there. The county extension office charges $35 for use of their kitchen, which is deposited into the general fund revenue. And they have collected, they got a balance there of $3,018.42. Do I hear a motion to approve it? Motion by Greg, seconded by Adam. Call roll.
Mark Parker.
Yes?
Russell Reed.
Yes.
Sharon Ashton.
Yes.
Jim Bush.
Yes.
Craig Mitchell.
Yes.
Lynn Stigler.
Yes.
Brent Bush.
Yes.
Christie Hunter.
Yes.
Adam Melton.
Yes.
All right, next are two items, budget amendments from the sheriff's department, and one of them is, maintenance on buildings from gifts and contributions, $200, $200 check from the Community Wellness Center for the garden. Thank you to the Community Wellness Center. If you see them, thank them yourself. If you're a citizen, they give them $200 to the garden. Do I hear a motion to amend the budget for that? You wanna do both these together? You don't mind doing both of these together? Another one's a drug fund. Proceeds from confiscated property. Was that the gun sale? This is the gun sale here, $25,031, and gonna put that in law enforcement equipment. So this is both of these together. Do I hear a motion? Glenn made a motion, Adam or Richie one second. Call roll.
Mark Parker.
Yes.
Russell Reed.
Yes.
Sharon Ashton.
Yes.
Jim Bush.
Yes.
Craig Mitchell.
Yes.
Lynn Stigler.
Yes.
Brent Bush.
Yes.
Christie Hunter.
Yes.
Adam Melton.
Yes.
All right. That's all the budget amendments. We've already done our department reports, and you notice it kind of struck out quarterly reports there. That's why I put these department reports up there. Is there any other business to come before the commission? Yes, Richie?
I'd like to know where we stand on our litter grants here, and what progress has been made on our litter grants.
You mean solid waste grants?
I'm sorry, solid waste grants, yes.
I knew what you're talking about. I just wanted to clarify that for the.
Thank you. Does anybody know? And September is approaching fast.
And Fay Northcutt Knox was supposed to be at our last meeting, and, that should have been rolled to this meeting, I suppose. You made the report. All right, Glenn is on that committee.
I am too, but we've not met.
We need to be.
Let me tell you what I know, I'm concerned about it as well, and I called the co-chairman, the vice chairman, Deb Prince, and told her that the clock was ticking, that I would like to see us go ahead and meet now that the commission has approved those rates. Let's go ahead and select the direction that we want to go, the plan we want to go, and start on this. The clock is.
That's right, and then 2 weeks ago, we approved those, and we need to get on the ball.
As I understand it, the chairman is Knox, is in Italy right now.
Does the co-chair need to just, push the ball down the field a little bit?
I asked her if she could do that, and, I haven't been called back from her at this point, but I will assure you that I will do whatever I can.
How many members? It's, myself, Lynn, Tia, Brent, and the mayor. One of the aldermen, Faye, another alderman.
Well, see, you got enough to call a meeting with the vice chair.
Yeah, get them, and you three, and move it.
Well, it was my understanding that, that Mike was supposed to be getting with, the people from CTAS, the people who wrote the grant.
Lisa Luck.
Lisa Luck, and coming up with some type of solution.
I thought there was something on our email about that he had got called back or something.
Well, all I'm saying is the clock is ticking.
Yeah, I agree, but it won't look at.
Well, y'all just need to call me, get them.
Well, what?
Get that. Okay.
Doesn't that kind of coincide with what I was asking you about?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
I don't see why it would.
I would appreciate very much if you bring that up.
Any other business? Jim?
Well, you know, when you see, Norma's numbers, what she's showing now, and what we're looking at in budget is two totally different figures. So let's don't get optimistic about what we're looking at right now. That's all I'm saying.
All right, Glenn, you got anything on other business? Mr. Reed, Russell, Brent Bush, anything on other business? Anything else with you?
No, that's, I just,
That bothers me too.
really concerns me.
Karen, anything else? All right, if there's no other business, then we'll stand adjourned. Who makes the motion?
Motion.